Howdy y'all, I am Ice Gold, and today I've actually got some pretty interesting news, and news I guess might not be the best way to put it, because this is really just it's like a very educated guess as to what the next world is going to be. So, that being said, guesses of this nature have not once been wrong where it comes to, following the trends that I'll be going over in this video. But, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, and you were like, well, is Darkmoor going to be the next world? I know you've sort of talked about that a couple times before, where, you think Darkmoor might be the next world. And lately, especially with the summer update, there have been some, I guess, data mined details, is what I'll say. Data mined details that more or less confirm that Darkmoor is going to be the next world, the first one of the 5th arc, and the world where, we'll hit level 180. So, as interesting as that is, let's sort of talk about how we came to this conclusion. And I say we because, I was just sort of speculating until the Atmoplex actually put out a tweet. So, I had like a pretty good guess, but didn't want to say that was for sure. But now I will take Atmoplex's word for this, since they are the ones doing the data mining here. And they know the trends that have been going on for like the last while. So here is what they said on Twitter. They said, I can confirm that the new world this year is Darkmoor. There's a new Darkmoor bundle set in a new location called Gravehome. There's always a new bundle dedicated to the new world that gets data mined in the summer update. This has been the case ever since Polaris. So if we think about, the last, or not so much the last bundle house, but the one in 2023 that was being talked about. I remember this was being talked about like right around the time the Wiz Discord opened for the first time, and that was the Wallaru bundle house with the Wallaru Outlanders set. I can't remember what it was called, but it was that bundle house, and it came out like right before the release of the World of Wallaru for level 170. So that was 2023, but like the Atmoplex says in the tweet, this has been going on all the way back to Polaris. I remember the Witch Hunters bundle, I think, came out, and that was Mirage themed, and that had a whole house, and that was for Mirage, obviously the Polarian Shipwreck, and, that whole thing with the, I guess I don't have it on this character, but the Battle Narwhal that came with that bundle was the Polaris teaser bundle. So that is where the Battle Narwhal comes from, for those unaware. And so, it's been going on for quite some time. I think the Arrow Village was dropped in 2018, which would have made it Imperia Part 2. So, just all around, the trends do, in fact, line up. So there you have that. I can't exactly remember what they did for some of the other 4th arc worlds. I was not really playing the game all that much. I do remember the Caramel one, though. I remember that happening in 2020 with the... Actually, I don't know if the Sky Sorcerer one was the one I'm thinking of, but I do remember there was a bundle, and I remember that the wand had some card attached to it that, like, stopped you from gaining pips, but gave you 5 pips at the same time. I think it was called like Sugar Rush, something like that. Anyway, that came with that bundle in 2020. So basically, I'm just telling you in a million different ways that the trends have been accurate since 2015. This marks the 10th year of those trends holding up. So, there you have it. I think personally, that's confirmation enough. If it's already happened 9 times, like, why would it not happen a 10th? So, yeah, plus they need to do some marketing for the world, and, this whole bundle house, people like buying them, that sort of deal. So, that is that to think about as well. And yeah, the next point that they make is that in the Liches and Legends Housing Gauntlet, it lists the first world of each arc in order, with the exception of Wizard City. So it lists the first world of Arc 2 first, which was Celestia, then the first world of Arc 3, Polaris, the first world of Arc 4, Caramel, and then it says Darkmoor. yeah, that really fueled speculation. At first, people weren't really sure what to make of that, considering we've already been to Darkmoor for, the side quest and all of that for the gear. But ultimately, this is another interesting little tidbit that I'm glad that they went over, because it felt weirdly out of place when it dropped. It was like, wait, why is Darkmoor being included here? It's like people noticed the pattern with Celestia, Polaris, and Caramel. So that sort of stoked speculation, but couldn't confirm it at that point in time. But now I feel like we can. And then the last one is, the last point that they bring up is there's a Datamined Darkmoor theme pack. And they consistently release a pack themed to the world after it releases. Like we saw this with the Druid's Horde pack, just to give an example, in early 2020, which happened right after the Catacombs released. We saw things like the Nimbari Horde pack, which dropped in, I think, early 2019 for Imperia Part 2. Alfoy Horde pack was the same in 2018. And of course, the goddamn Gulcher pack, which dropped in early 2017 for Mirage. So the trends continue there as well. I won't go over every single example again, I promise, but that's more or less how that happened. And, we had the Selenopolis pack that also came out, the Dark Jester pack that came out this year, so just more confirmation on that end. And there's a couple more things that people in the replies to this tweet pointed out, which was in the Selenopolis update at the very end, the Loon Knight, after you beat Khonsu, says something about like tracing the new Earthborn villain's path back to the darkest world. I don't know about you, but I'm looking around right now, and it's kind of adding up. I can't lie. It kind of is. So, that, I think, that's, personally for me, that's enough confirmation. I think I can safely say that Darkmoor is going to be the world coming this fall. Probably expect that on test around maybe October or November. So, yeah, I mean, that's hype, because, I mean, we haven't been back to Darkmoor since level 100, haven't even been here at all on the storyline. But I think it's a pretty interesting world, and I'm really excited that they're going to be finally taking it on. The fact that Darkmoor is going to be the world also gives me a lot of hope for the writing direction of Arc 5. Arc 4, as many of us know and feel, did not really feel like that. It wasn't as well written. It was kind of just sort of jokey and gimmicky, and didn't really have a whole lot going on. It had its moments, like the Dreamer cutscene in Wallaru, which I uploaded the 10th episode of Wizard101 on a Budget's 5th season, where I experienced that cutscene not too long ago, so go check that out. And then they also had like the whole Manticore plot at the very end of Novus. I wish that could have lasted longer and could have gotten expanded more on, but yeah, hopefully with a world like Darkmoor, there's, I guess, better themes at play than like Mario, DeMario, and Furiosa, because come on, man, step it up. that's all I'm saying about that. So I'm hoping they don't like be too goofy with the writing this arc, and I think Darkmoor at the very least is a good start to that. So it's a good sign, rather. So we're going to see if that holds, but for right now, that's kind of all that I've got to go over in this video. Yeah, or I guess there's one more thing that somebody in the replies mentioned. They asked, do you have any opinion or idea on how they are going to use the Castle Darkmoor area in the actual Darkmoor world? And the response was honestly pretty logical. It was sort of like how, how Kembalong Village and Zigzag are attached to Mushu and Krokotopia respectively, but they aren't actually like visited, that sort of thing. And that, I think, is going to be the same case for Darkmoor. This is going to be its own separate little thing, but the world of Darkmoor is going to be, like, its own real thing. And that, like, we've seen anybody who's played Pirate 101 and paid attention to that story knows that Darkmoor is a real world with some depth behind it. So it's like, we kind of thought that we'd go there in Pirate before Wizard, but, I'll take it. I'll take whatever, and who knows, maybe we will go to Darkmoor Pirate someday as well, so that would be quite nice. Of course, just need the devs of that game to step up the pace, so is what it is there, but that, I think, does officially wrap this up. It's going to be an interesting update, that's for sure, and I'm really, really excited for it. This next arc is going to be very interesting. I feel like, especially with this whole new Earthborn villain type thing, where it's like somebody from outside the spiral is kind of like the evil version of the wizard. That's how I think it's going to be portrayed. So that I've been wanting something like that since Novus. So let's see. we will just have to see. But for now, thank you all for watching. I've been Ice Gold. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a like in the comments for the algorithm. My Discord is down in the description if you want to chat with me some more, and I will see y'all later.